red flags is always there when they start name dropping. So the people who have nothing better to talk about rather than the name dropping of, say, their uncle or some other investor, that means the product or the company has nothing better to do. Because an investor will always find out the other investors or who's involved in the company just by this look of it. You don't have to do a name drop. So I find that has being a very big red flag, as if someone does any name dropping, that means they have nothing better and they'll just be chasing the names, not the product or not the revenue or not the metrics.
Hello everyone, today on the Indian Startup Show I'm joined by Dev Alijar for a wide-ranging conversation about AI, investing and building modern businesses. We also explore how he thinks about investing in startups, gold and other assets, including what he looks for in founders and red flags that can quickly put him off investment. Discuss why founders should be genuine users of their own product, why distribution matters, how building trust can become one of the company's biggest advantages. He also shares a story of his incredible cycling journey across India and banana chips chat as well. So please enjoy the show. Thank you. Hello Devansh, thank you for coming on the Indian Startup Show today.
Yes, thank you. Thanks for having me, Neil.
For those people who don't know you, who are you? What are you building?
So there is a variety of interests I have, but the majority of my time goes in building PJE, which is a traditional jewelry business. But ever since it's been 5 years, I have joined the business, and then we have modernized it in many ways, in such a way that currently we have like grad students from engineering building AI workflows right now for each department. And when I joined the business, it was like a 9% business. Currently, we have like around 120 employees in this. And with more than 50% of it are like the office employees. So we are working on the website. We do have an e-commerce platform built up for shipping.
How did you get started in the jewelry business then? What was it like growing up around that business with such a traditional history, as it were? So
I would say something like, in a business family, your business conversations are always about how is it going, how are the customers, what was the footfall like. And ever since I was young, like I remember that my first sale when I made, I was like around 9 years old. And I dealt with a customer all by myself. The customer paid me, I gave him the bill. There was no adult in the interaction. So we have been handling business for way too long, and we get into it like when you have your summer holidays or when there is a festive, when there's a festival going on and where there's going to be a lot of footfalls, you are at the store. Like even now, like most of the days we are not in the store, but on a high footfall day, like a Saturday or a Sunday, or like if there's any auspicious festival, we are at the store speaking to customers, making a sale happen. So the importance of sale is still there. Like even right now, I cannot go to sleep any day without seeing the sales numbers of the day. Like we get a report daily. So only after that I can go to sleep, even though I'm not physically there at the business every day.
You mentioned modernization. What do you feel needs changing then?
A lot of things, right? Yeah. See, in a traditional business, we hardly have any employees. We hardly have any departments. Everyone is doing everything. Like maybe the business owner like us, we are doing the accounting, we are doing the HR, we are doing the marketing, we are doing everything. So with modernizing it, you are building the departments. And plus modernizing is that today we are more or less an social media brand or a online brand with a presence of a retail store. Like most of our customers, they either come by seeing a Instagram, a YouTube or a Google ad. No one comes to just by seeing the store. Like we have customers coming from across the state, everything just to shop with us because of the online presence. So that is a part of modernizing. Like today's business, a presence online is a necessity thing, where a website which is visited, it should not just be like a placeholder. It should be like a website which has a lot of visitors. Like in our website, just organically, we get like 60,000 visitors a month. We don't do any ads for our website. Though we run like Instagram and Google ads to visit the store, that is completely separate. And modernizing is in other terms in which earlier there was no data that we used for the store. So right now we are maximum data backed, in which the inventory, what do you call the inventory management system, the IMS is made, in which the reorders of whatever is needed is done automatically, not manually by a person. Most of the decisions are coming to be data backed, and the way we hire and how the candidates are filtered. There's a wonderful book called The Who. So this book tells you how can you screen and get the right candidates, right from an office boy to a CEO, how you do it. So that's the system we use in our business too, where there has been put a scientific method behind everything, I would say.
Mm.
and modernizing in the part of marketing, like how you are doing a podcast. We have a podcast of our own in our jewelry
Mm.
store where it is 100% for women entrepreneurs, creators, and women businessmen, where they come and they talk about their business. And we are the only jewelry store to have a podcast and do this. Like, we are on our 25th episode for that, and we have many various different marketing types where we do.
Excellent. That sounds fun. That. But how can you sort of build trust then with buying jewelry online? Then how do you sort of go about that then?
So the thing is, we are lucky that our business is traditional, right? So we have been there for many, many years. We have had hundreds of thousands of customers over the years, and the customer knows that. And then they see someone who buys online, right? They'll first go see a Instagram account, they'll go see your Google page, they'll go see your web page. So if your these pages are very well sorted and they are engaged with, you can gain the trust. So normally a customer trusts us right now because of the Instagram page and the Google business page. Because in the Google business page, I think we have around 6,000 reviews, and on the Instagram we have like over 100K followers. So all that is like trust building activity for the customer, and we are doing this just to get the trust of the customer. And when they see, if they go to your Instagram page and they see no post, no profile picture, and no less followers, that's when they won't trust you. Today's day, if you have, even like, I wouldn't say you need to have 100K, even if you have like a 3-4 thousand followers, it is trustworthy enough where it is not like a new page which can scam you of money, because those Instagram ad scams are the most regular thing that happen right now. And trust is added maximum the way through how I'm speaking to you here on my Instagram page. If you just go, you'll see my face most of the time, like on our business page. I'll just show it to you.
Yeah, please.
Over here. See over here, you can just see like that's me
Okay.
over there.
Yeah.
Everywhere it's just like me talking somewhere or the other. So 1 in 3 posts is always me talking. So they know that there's a person behind it. It is not just like AI ads, even though we do make AI ads and everything, but there has to be a face or a person behind it. Like even in the US, how there is many brands, like how Alex Hormozy is there of the acquisition. He's talking and he's the face of the brand, and people trust the coaching program more than anything else because there is a person behind it.
Yeah, obviously when it comes to jewelry, we have to talk gold, part of our sort of DNA in India. Why is it so important in India? And then what are sort of like the misconceptions Indians have when buying gold?
Let me first talk about the importance of gold in India. So gold is taken as is seen as wealth, not just because it is like a valuable, but also because it represents goddess Lakshmi, who is like the goddess of wealth. And every Diwali, which is like one of the major festivals of the Hindus in India, they like to bring in wealth into their home, and that is done by getting gold into their home. And like even when you're married, the first thing you start buying from is gold and silver. And there is specific dates, like think that your marriage is confirmed, they first look at the dates they can go buy gold outside, like on an auspicious day and time as per the star signs and everything. They see those dates, and that's how the journey starts. So it's a very traditional embedded thing in them. Like every Diwali people buy, and every way say that you are working and you get your first salary, you want to give something of gold to your mom or your dad as a, just as a gratitude symbol. And the gift of gold is never rejected. Like you might give your mom a watch, she'll be like, oh, why did you get me a watch? Or I wanted something else. But if you give a gold bracelet or a gold chain, they'll always be like, thank you, like, because that'll always go up in value. There is no wrong decision in gold. So that's one thing. And also the fact that in India, like the Indian currency against the US dollar depreciates around 4 to 6% every year. But gold is hedged to the dollar. Like, so with the dollar going up, the gold keeps going up. So which is why the gold price going up around 5% every year and the dollar going up 6% every year. So gold, if an Indian buys, for them the appreciation of gold is around 12% a year. But due to the recent increase, it is coming up to 12 to 14%. But usually if you see like a 100-year period, it's around 8%. And that is an asset, which is why traditionally many Indians trust in it. And when we come to misconceptions, the misconceptions or anything that happens is that people feel that buying gold from anyone is the same thing. how you're saying, like I feel like in India or just generally in the world, even in China and even in the US, people just blindly trust any shop selling golds, assuming that, oh, this has been there for many decades, so they must be knowing what they are doing. Most people are not knowing what they are doing. There has to be a lot of knowledge check that has to be there. Like just to give an example, I had written a book on for the customers on how to buy jewelry and educate them. And I used to have webinars educating customers. And to my surprise, I got to know most of the people joining the webinars were jewelers. Like they wanted to know how to, what to tell to the customers and what all they need to know. That is a surprise. Like if you feel that they know their business, most of them don't know. So you need to do your own checks with the purity, with what stone is being used, what is the buyback, and obviously get a bill. Getting shopping expensive thing like jewelry without getting a bill is like waiving off your warranty, because tomorrow's day anything that comes wrong in the jewelry, you can go back to the business owner and they will take care of it and give whatever was mentioned on it. If not, you are just like, you don't know what you will do with it.
And what about silver then? Obviously, I'm looking at the silver price. That's gone through the roof.
That has gone through the roof and it's come down a lot too. Like January,
missed out on that one.
Yeah, I know, but you didn't miss out on anything. Like in January or in the Feb starting is when there was a peak, and then it has just fallen till now. Silver is something I don't read much on, mainly for the fact that I find silver, like that's a very controversial opinion. I find silver like a penny stock. It might do what it did, or you might just lose a lot thinking it would do what you wanted to do. Gold is more like, like an index, like you're buying the index. It'll steadily just giving you returns. It won't give you 100-200% return, but it'll give you a 4-5% return year on year. So I'm more interested in gold, and silver is something I didn't read much upon, and neither do I feel like it's for investing, because people feel like it's investment worthy because it's going to be in industrial use, and anything that is going to be of industrial use has to be low in cost for the fact that it has to be mass produced. So they'll either find a way to make it low in cost or find a substitute, because they cannot go on increasing the cost for the customer because there will be no sale of it. An item which is on luxury can be high on value, say like a diamond, a gold, or a Rolex, or a Ferrari, or a Hermes bag. I feel they are like not like high in value because it's of industrial use. It is because it's a luxury item, it's high in cost.
Interesting. One last quick question about the jewelry business then. Let's say you were starting this today, 21st of August 2026. What would you obsess over first? What would you do? Will it be straight online digital marketing?
It would be, first thing would be that, obviously. So something you need to do is say, right, currently what we are doing is I would just make some products that I feel there is a gap in the market. Like today's day, diamonds and lab grown diamonds, both natural and lab grown, I feel the market is very good for that, especially in India, where a lot of people are coming out of the middle class and they want to wear some jewelry in their hand when they're working, like working women. There's a lot of women in the working force right now, but they cannot wear the traditional jewelry. They want to wear something sleek on their hands. It can be bracelet, rings, or earrings, just to signify, or maybe just look good for the Instagram pictures or anything. So if I'm starting a business today, I would start into one of these products. And the day I start, before I even have a product or have the investment, I would start making designs and putting it online, because if I don't have capital, my first sale, I would just make the item and start selling it. So digital presence is the first thing. It can be more than a website. I feel an Instagram page or a YouTube page is first, and how I'm speaking about it without even having a product. If I speak about it, I can make a sale happen. So I would just start speaking about my business and what I feel is the way forward for customers and what they should be buying, and help in personal shopping experiences. Like there'll be some people who might want help in buying for their occasion or something coming up. So that's where I'll try to get in touch with them and try to help them out by shopping and sourcing directly from the bigger manufacturers and give them stones. Yeah, that's how I think I would start today to get the big orders.
Yeah, let's talk about startups then. You've been investing in early stage Indian startups. How did you get into this?
Yeah, so first I tried to become a part of angel networks. So something happened and they didn't want a jeweler to be a part of it. I don't know why. So they were also of the mentality that, oh, jewelers are traditional, you might not want to be. But today's day, you'll be shocked that of all the engineering jobs that are going away in India, jewelers are hiring most of the engineers, like for building systems or the IMSs or whatever. It's not for doing sales, but even though many engineers are also applying for sales jobs, but earlier what was frowned now is being seen as like a, you see in all the Indian companies which are going down, like the traditional businesses are coming up. Say like the banking, the retail segment, not just jewelry, it's the clothing, it is the grocery stores, it's everything which is scaling up in India right now. But the tech segment is obviously becoming under a bit of fire with the AI coming in. So with the jewelry, what is the question again? I just passed.
Yeah. How did you get into early stage investing?
Early stage investment.
Yeah.
So that's when I wanted to be a part of an angel network. This was 4 years ago, my first year into the business, because since I was in college, I wanted to become a P investor, but angel investor was a way to start with it. Then I didn't get into the angel network, so I just posted on LinkedIn, and I just started contacting companies on LinkedIn whom I knew was raising money. Then I invested in the ones I felt like they were doing good and everything. And overall, I think till now I've invested in 13 startups, and 3 of them have come on the Indian version of Shark Tank. And my first ever company that I invested in was a banana chips company. They make those chips with the banana, like a raw banana is made into the chips with flavors like peri peri and just like the other chip manufacturers, they have 5-6 different flavors. And that was the first ever deal made on Shark Tank India.
Wow.
And yep. And then their revenue since my investment till today, I think they have 100x on their revenue.
100x?
So that, yes. Because the revenue was really small when they came to us. Because so I do only seed stage. It's like the idea or the seed stage. It's like very without even like any sort of revenue, just an idea or a plan. So that's how I went. And one more of the companies was domestic help on demand, which is called Roomies. It's in Delhi and it's in Pune and Bombay and few more cities in India, where you can get a babysitter, driver, cook, and a few more stuff like on demand. So that is like in India, almost every working house or at least every middle scale home has like a domestic help which they use, but it is a pain to find the person as they leave. So these guys solve that problem. This is also scaling well. They also got a deal on Shark Tank. So most of my deals I source through LinkedIn. So when I put my name as angel investors, a lot of people were messaging me. I was messaging a lot of people. So that is how my deal was curated. And it was a fun journey because we were investing in founders much smarter than me and having to talk to them every quarter based on the results, what's going on, what's not. So that was a fun learning and a fun journey.
So basically you just updated your LinkedIn profile.
Yes. But then now I updated back to was an angel investor because now I'm like concentrating on my business.
Okay. Cool. But let's go back to that then. Back in the day then, when a founder pitched you must have got a lot of pitches then. What's the first thing you're looking for then?
See, for me, even today and even always, what I'm looking for is the founder active on, say, a LinkedIn or a Instagram. Because I feel the deal flow or people knowing a company, doesn't matter you are into a B2B or manufacturing or even a tech company or anything, you need to be talking about it and you need to get people, all the eyeballs on you. So you need to be posting a lot on LinkedIn or Instagram or ready to do the marketing. I feel before you have a product, marketing is important. And I feel like the great products, like Steve Jobs was the best at it. He had the marketing like all out for it. And which is why every of his product was a success. Even though the product was not good, like the first Macintosh or anything. So that is what I looked in a founder, and whether I would be a consumer or I would be a user of that product. For me, it was as simple like I'm a huge believer in, the way what Warren Buffett says, that he's like, if you use Coke, just buy Coke. If you eat McDonald's, just buy McDonald's stock, just like that. So if I would be an actual user of the product, is what I bought it. Like how I was telling you, like the first company I bought into, the banana chips company. So every year we do a lot of gifting to our customers. So the year I bought the banana chips company, the company's revenue was basically 90% of me buying gifts for that month, for like giving to my clients or something like that. And everyone liked it a lot. So I was just getting into companies in which I was using it also. Wow. So those were the 2-3 things I looked at. And obviously then we spoke to the founders on the call, and we went on metrics as how do they see their growth happening, what are the reasons they feel confident on why it would happen. And at this time, it is basically your gut feeling more than anything else. It's how you feel about the company, because at seed stage or idea stage, you can never tell something is going to be successful or not. Like, it is actually the founder may be good, but still it may just be like a bad time or a bad market or anything. So you just have to be lucky.
Yeah, lucky. And you have been lucky because you work really hard. So you must have got a lot of pitches then. Was there any sort of red flags you see in early stage founders?
Red flags is always there when they start name dropping. So the people who have nothing better to talk about rather than the name dropping of, say, their uncle or some other investor, that means the product or the company has nothing better to do. Because an investor will always find out the other investors or who's involved in the company just by this look of it. You don't have to do a name drop. So I find that has being a very big red flag, as if someone does any name dropping, that means they have nothing better, and they'll just be chasing the names, not the product or not the revenue or not the metrics what are needed, which might just be the next round of funding or anything like that. That was a very big red flag. And I feel one of the other things also I looked at was that the founder should have been like a ground up founder, like a first gen entrepreneur. Most of the time, how it works is as that if they're already born with, say, a silver spoon or something like that, I don't trust that founder to get out very well, which is me also in this case. Like, I was born with a silver spoon, like in an Indian standpoint. I wouldn't bet on a founder like me if I saw him pitch to me. And they should have a road to profitability if they are in a product or a manufacturing business. If they're into a tech business, they should have a road to how fast they're going to make the product well. But yeah, these are the two red flags I would have.
You must have got some, not strange, but weird ones or stupid ones, or any strange pitches that you've had.
Oh, there was a few strange ones, but which have started doing very well. For unfortunately, like there was a air taxi in India. So
Wow.
till now in India we don't have a, what do you call it? But I didn't invest in that. I just know of it. In India we still don't even have autonomous cars. But now when I've like matured and I think about it, I feel like a air taxi in India is much easier than an autonomous vehicle on the Indian roads. So that startup is doing pretty well, but at that time it felt like a bonkers idea because I couldn't foresee it. Then also there was another company just to implant chips in the brain, but I think so they didn't even get off it. It was just idea stage and where it was scraped out. And I don't want to be. And there was one of the scientists who was the founder who wanted to do it. So it wasn't like a young founder; it was a very elderly founder. These all were the passes. Those were the one or two weird ones I remember top of my head.
Yeah, let's talk about AI then. Because you've used it now, what is your current view of AI?
I feel it's necessary. Like how I feel is, if you're an HR, you need to be a HR who knows how to use AI. Like in the processes right now, we have not built it completely yet, but we have made a pathway at least on how to build it. Like the way you put the ad for a particular role can be an ad made completely by a seed dance or something, which is an AI tool. And once you have enough applications that come through it, all the screening can be done by the Notebook LM, which is a wonderful way to screen most of the resumes. And once you do that, there is a way to video call and speak to it. So AI is calling and filtering out the candidates. And once it's filtered out the entire onboarding, so we didn't have a, what do you call, a school. So we just made a PJE school, like a LMS, like a training module, learning module. So in which if you're a assistant, these are the modules you complete before you onboard. If you're a salesman, you complete these modules before you onboard. So we have made like parts of this, like the LMS module is completely ready. We got this done within like 2 days using AI and putting our documents on it. So this was like very helpful, in which we are onboarding people on a much better way and having their scorecard and KPIs being tracked throughout their journey. So for HR, this was in help. And with accounts, I was thinking of getting a fractional CFO. And so then when I was talking to a few of them, I saw what they do. And I just gave the data to AI and asked it to do the same and did it. So, so the need of a fractional CFO I see is not needed, where if you give the context and the data, that is way too good. And when we are just talking about it, let me just
Yeah.
get, get one of the tools that I use. So AI is not good or bad. AI is as good as the context you give it. So this is an Indian startup. Oh my god. So this is a company I wanted to invest in, but I couldn't. This is called Neo Sapiens. So this is something you just wear all the time. So when I'm at work, this is on and I'm wearing it. So this takes notes and action points of everything I'm doing.
Okay.
And then I just set up a AI brain in which it is noting everything that I talk into my brain in Claude and on ChatGPT, in which it knows the problems it has. So in case I'm making a process later, it'll tell me ki, the problem you had when you were speaking to that person is not solved by this process. So the context is there. So if you don't give it context, it'll give you like a solution in which the world is perfect, but the world is not perfect. You have to convey that to the AI by giving the context that what all is happening in your work. And this I found is a very good way. Like there is Plod also in US, which takes a note taker. You just need to let AI invade your privacy a little bit to give all the context. So once you give the context, it is giving like very right ideas. With the, I give you the example of HR and accounting, and the next level is, so with a salesman whom we are scanning, we just give them a device for recording, and when they're talking, and we just see what are the SOPs that is being broken. And the people who are chatting with our Instagram or CRM with the callings, everything is audited through the AI. It's just the thing that the tools are same. What we are using is either it's a Google Cloud or a Chat GPT. You can just audit them using these two or three of them. Those are the ways we are currently using AI. And instead of, I ask myself, before I used to ask myself who can do it, I ask myself first is that can AI do it or do I need a person to do it?
Yeah.
And that's how we are able to scale very well. Like for a company like ours, where we cannot exactly keep investing in talent, even though investing in talent is important, investing in AI and that process is even more important, because AI will still give you like an audit result. We still need a person to act on it. So the person is still very, very important, but you don't need a lot of doers. Maybe you need a lot of decision makers, but not a lot of low level doers. So that in that way, AI is changing a lot of things.
So do you think that everyone can be an entrepreneur then? Or do you think
100%.
it makes it harder because everyone's got the same tools?
No, see, everyone, AI is something like even the web coming up. So when the web came up, everyone could have been an entrepreneur being on the web, but everyone did not. The way you use the web differs on what do you think it can do. See, like even AI, many people just want to use it as a chatbot, and that's what most of them are doing right now. They are not using it anything more than a chatbot. So it depends on you on how big you think it can go. And I think it was the first time just this year, someone from the US or the Canada built a $1 billion company and sold it, and he was a single founder, single employee. That's it. So that was the first in the world, I think, where the person had no employees and he just had agents running most of his thing, and it was scaled in the last 15 or 18 months. So that is the future. Like that's the level. See what he did, even I can't do. I can't make $1 billion value company just by myself using agents. But that's how much you think you can do through AI and how much you can spend.
Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah, but everyone can be an entrepreneur. But I feel the world has a different story. I feel in the future, more than everyone being an entrepreneur, what is more important is everyone being a creator, which is, I mean, having an online presence. You see those crazy videos happening in China where everyone is creating, content all the time and everything is online selling. I feel India also that similar thing has to happen. US also, I feel everyone is becoming a creator. Like you can be doing a analyst job and you're creating. So your creating part is just side income. Like it's an entrepreneurial journey, and you can have a job and an entrepreneurial journey going on at the same time. It doesn't have to be a choice. Like how earlier we gave a choice, like you either have to do a job or be an entrepreneur. But right now with the jobs just being 9 to 5, you can have a 5 to 9 in which you are making videos of fitness or healthy snacks or whatnot, and have a very good side gig.
Banana chips, that'd be a good idea. No, sorry, done. Yeah, you mentioned this book before. Just show us
who.
Yeah, and who's writing this book then? Who is people want to buy it?
So this book is written by Geoff Smart and Randy Street. It is by a company called GH Smart.
Okay.
So they are, I think, a recruiting agency in the US which have helped in They have very interesting case studies on how can you make 90% of your hires relevant and
Right.
growth worthy for your company. A very good book.
So in terms of the key takeaways, what are the good hiring strategies and philosophies then?
First thing is that before you hire someone, you need to do a scorecard. Say like we both are sitting, we are in the same company. We say that, oh, we need to hire a manager for this role. But we both agree that we need a manager, but I may think of I need a manager for doing this and that. You might feel you need a manager for that and that. So the way we want that person to do is not written down. So we need to have a clear scorecard which is communicated to the guy whom we are hiring. And once you have that and screen them as per that, more or less it's a good hire in the screening way. But there's like a lot of details that go in on how each question should be asked and how you actually screen out the bad players. Actually, most of the time while we are interviewing, we need to find reasons to reject them rather than finding reasons to hire them. What we start doing is most of the time people hire people similar to them, which is where the most fault happens. Someone who is not similar to you might be as good as getting the job done than someone who is similar to you. That has to be the understanding, and that starts by making it a scientific process. Note it down. What are the results you want from this person, and what are the key responsibilities they are going to take away? And you can't write 100 things. You have to write like 5 to 7 things, because like you can only have priorities of 4 to 5. You cannot have 100 priorities. So that needs to be clear from you and the candidate both.
Last few questions then. You mentioned this book then. This is quite interesting, where you traveled, cycle. Okay. How long did that take?
45 days. It was 4,000 kilometers in miles. Maybe, I don't know what it will be, 2,800 miles. So around 4,000 kilometers for 45 days.
And why did you do it?
We just
Bored.
did it for fun. Because we had nothing to do and I had an idea always. So the book is about that why. Why did I start doing it? It's a funny story. While writing the book is when I realized when the idea got into me. So Gary Vaynerchuk, the US, was in Singapore. I studied in Singapore. He was in Singapore for 4 days, and I was his assistant for those 4 days.
Oh.
So that's where his humbleness and everything and what he kept saying back to back is, you're going to die, you have limited time, this, that, like to everyone. And I was just with him. So I was just listening. And then that's when I realized, like, I was just speaking to him. Like, he was visiting the Meta office, the Twitter offices, everything in Singapore that time. And I was with him only when I was visiting everywhere. And that's when, in just few talks, I realized that every human has 4,200 weeks in their life. And at that time, I was like 18 or 19, around 1,200 has passed. And then I was like, every week, if I read a book each week, it is only like 3,000 books. Is that enough? And if I make a new friend every week, just knowing 3,000 people in a lifetime, is that like going to be enough? So that thing of urgency started. That's when I started doing like crazy ideas. And that's where like the Kashmir to Kanyakumari, I wanted to do that as a crazy thing in my life. And I did that. But the starting of the idea came from this sense of urgency to do it. And the book dwells down on more of the other journey, because we had a wonderful journey. We met a bunch of friends, relatives, strangers on the road, and we just didn't want to travel the thing. So there's many people who just cycle across just for a record.
Yeah.
Our goal of cycling across was for exploring the country. And I had a hometown which is in Rajasthan. I have never visited that. And like our family has a 300-year-old house there. So I went through my own personal history and even India's history and a lot more in that way. So the cycling journey is about that. And in fact, my first podcast I was on was by a Canadian guest. So he got me on after that cycling, because when I was cycling, I was posting a lot on Reddit. So a lot of people on Reddit were following my journey. And then there was a person from Canada who gifted me like a Patagonia cap and a t-shirt for being on the podcast. So then that was my first podcast after that cycling journey.
I haven't got one of those yet. If I ever come to India, I'll give you a gift. I don't know what. Yeah, I'll send you a gift. Get you one of these Man City mugs. Going out now. But yeah, last few questions then. Any sort of like advice for our first time founders then? What should they be focusing on?
I would say distribution is one of the main thing, right? As I told earlier, like have a distribution. Before you have a website, you need to be posting your thoughts and authentic thoughts on LinkedIn or even on Instagram. It cannot be, oh, I'm selling this particular, cream or something and just posting on that. It should be about your thought on like your genuine thoughts, and you need to have people read it or agree to it. And that's when you have a product. Even much before you have an idea, you can start having an audience. And that's how I feel like Mr. Beast, the way he has got his audience and built brands, it's crazy. And I feel that is the future. Like, it's going to be creator led brands like Kylie Jenner and multiple others, to be a, let it be even a, what do you call, a solution which is tech driven without a product. It can just be a SaaS product or anything. It still has to need to have distribution. So any first time founder needs to start having distribution and start posting online.
Good advice. Actually, one last thing. I saw you post on LinkedIn about how you went to a conference, and I'm sure you used some sort of AI thing where you scanned in the business cards.
It was just Claude is what I used.
Right. Okay.
So I use so I got a lot of business cards. And then sometimes what happens is when you go to a conference, it was a 5-day conference with more than 30,000 stalls. Wow. And more than 50,000 visitors. So that's a lot of people. Like, if you collect cards, it'll be like 80,000 cards, but you collect cards of relevant people. Even those goes on, and around 50 to 60 cards were collected. And maybe, but not all the cards were useful. So what I did was I just clicked the pictures and I just gave a voice note on, see that I met Neil and I wanted to do a podcast with him. And I met Devansh. I wanted to talk about marketing to him. And I just gave the notes. So the cards and the notes were matched by the Claude, and then it made a list on Excel. And just on the Excel, I just asked Claude to send a WhatsApp and a mail. If you have the mail ID, send a mail. If you have the WhatsApp, send a WhatsApp with a personalized intro. So it'll send you a message, something like, "Hey Neil, we met at the conference. I would like to do a podcast with you." And to Devansh, it would have sent like a different, can we get on a call in which we can discuss marketing? So that's how it just sent. Like, I sent around maybe 40 messages like that. And that's what I'm saying. You need to know all this is possible by AI, because it was just Claude. It was no fancy tool I used. Even though there was people at the conference selling fancy tools for this particular work, I feel these base AIs can do most of the work if you ask them to do it. Yeah.
Any more trips? Any more road trips around the world, perhaps?
Around the world, not yet. Soon. But there was, when I was even in the US, me and my friends, we rented a van, and then we drove from New York to Maine. That was a road trip which I enjoyed a lot. And cycling across US is one thing I would like to do, even across India. So I did top to bottom. There is one more way across. Cycling across India is one more thing I'd love to do, and lot of more treks, and all these things will always keep coming. Like, I like to keep doing it every year. Like, it's like a ritual to do an adventure activity every year and wherever I travel.
If somebody's listening or watching wants to go on a trek, which one would you advise? Which is your favorite, as it were?
I would say Nepal is one of the best places in the world to go for a trek. Like, you don't need to be people think that Nepal, you need to climb Everest or something. You don't need to climb the entire Everest. You can just go for a 10 to 15 day trek, and the facilities and the altitude is very good, and the people of Nepal are very wonderful. It's very hospitable for someone from around the world to come. Like, I had taken a lot of my friends. One was a Canadian friend, one was a Swiss friend, and another was from Singapore. All of us went for the trek in Nepal. Like, everyone enjoyed it, and I feel overall the facilities and the treks are there for all ages and all ranges. Like, if you want a difficult one, there's a difficult one. If you want a medium one, there's a medium one. If you want a beginner, there's a beginner treks. So Nepal is a thing I feel people should go for a trek. It's beautiful, and the Himalayas are there, which are like the youngest mountains.
So last question then, if people want more information on you, how can they connect? Or if they want to buy some jewellery, perhaps, or I know you're not doing any pictures anymore, but how does one connect with you?
We can ship anywhere in the world if that's possible. If people want to connect with me, the easiest way to connect is at the rate Devansh Alijar. And like on Instagram, you can find me Devansh Alijar, and you can just type my name. Even on LinkedIn and everywhere else is the same thing that the name is. And also, if you're here and you want to connect regarding something, do DM AI if you like AI, or marketing if you like marketing, and we can connect on those topics which is there. And if you're an entrepreneur, I love to connect with similar minded people. And I do have a lot of friends in the US who are virtual friends. Like, we know each other because of the trade and this business, and not because like we are related or he's my customer or I'm their customer. It is just because we are doing the same thing.
Thank you, Dev. Really appreciated that conversation. I really enjoyed it. So thank you for coming on the show.
Yes, thanks a lot, Neil.